Good morning, children. So, in the 7th standard, first chapter, and first chapter is history. That is two big states. Now, in the 6th standard, last chapter, you know about the King Gupta. That was the Gupta period, and you know that he was the last king who has ruled almost about the central India, North India, and the few states of the South India also. See, so he was a last king who has a big empire, including central India, North India, and the some part of the South India. Okay, and after that, there was a decline of a larger super empire in the uh, subcontinent of India, if you see. Okay, so today we are going to see, in this chapter we are going to see the two big states after the decline of the Gupta period. Okay, and out of these two states, one is Kannauj and another is Vatapi. One is ruled by the king Harshvardhan and another was ruled by the Pulkeshin II. Okay. Then in the first module you will see how the Harshvardhan become the king. We will see the whole chronological chart. Then we will see the Harshvardhan's reign, administration, imprints left by the Harshvardhan. Then the life of the people during the reign of the Harshvardhan. Okay. So let's move ahead. Okay, so you can see this is a chronological chart of the Vardhana dynasty, of which Harshvardhana was the part. Okay, so Prabhakar Vardhana was the king of the Thaneshwar, which is the present Haryana, Punjab. Okay, present days Haryana, Punjab was earlier known as the Thaneshwar, and it was ruled by the king Prabhakar Vardhana. Okay, had two sons and one daughter. Prabhakar Vardhana has two sons, that is Rajyavardhana, that is an eldest son, then Harshvardhana, and then a sister Rajyashree. Okay, Rajyashree was married to the king of Kannauj, Grihavarma. Okay, so the daughter of the Prabhakar Vardhana was married to the king of the Kannauj. Okay, and after the death of the Prabhakar Vardhana, his eldest son, that is Rajvardhana, he ascended the throne after the death of his father. Okay, but in the Kannauj, the husband of the Rajyashree, means Grihavarman, was killed by Devgupta, the king of Malwa. Okay, so in order to save the brother-in-law, Rajyavardhana reached Kannauj to save his sister and his brother-in-law. Okay, then what happened? Yeah, then he marched against the Devgupta and defeated him. जो राज्यवर्धन होता है वो अपनी इफ यू विल से इन द हिंदी और गुजराती देन इट इज अ जीजाजी मीन्स हिज ब्रदर इन लॉ, तो वो उसको बचाने के लिए देवगुप्ता के साथ उसने बैटल की एंड ही ऑल्सो डिफीटेड हिम. बट शशांक किंग ऑफ द गॉड, फ्रेंड ऑफ द किंग देवगुप्ता, बट in order to take a revenge, Devgupta with his friend Shashank, who was the king of the god, killed Rajyavardhana in a fraudulently manner. Fraudulently manner means धोखेधड़ी से. उन दोनों ने मिल के धोखेधड़ी से किसको मार दिया? Rajyavardhana को. Okay, and as the Rajyavardhana was killed, both the throne of Kannauj and the throne of the Thaneshwar become empty. And in that condition, Harshvardhana overtook the throne. Okay. He then overtook the throne of the Thanishwara and then he defeated and freed his sister with the help of the hermit Divakar Mitra. Okay, he was the hermit of the Jain religion, and with the help of this Divakar Mitra, he freed his sister, okay, who Devgupta has been confined. देवगुप्ता ने इसकी सिस्टर राजेश्वरी को बंधक बना के रखा था, कन्फाइन करके रखा था। तो हर्षवर्धन जैसे ही थानेश्वर का राजा बनता है, वो सबसे पहले क्या करता है, वो अपनी सिस्टर को फ्री कराता है। ओके, बट एज द थानेश्वर वॉज अ स्मॉल किंगडम, सो ही ऑल्सो टुक द हेल्प ऑफ द भास्कर वर्मा, द किंग ऑफ द कामरूप एंड प्रेजेंट डे असम। ओके, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल व्हाट ही डिड, वो विंध्या के जो जंगल होते हैं उसमें से अपनी सिस्टर को ढूंढता है, उसको बचाता है, फ्री कराता है विद द हेल्प ऑफ द हर्मिट दिवाकर मित्रा। देन विद द हेल्प ऑफ द भास्कर वर्मा, द किंग ऑफ द कामरूप, ही ऑल्सो डिफीटेड देवगुप्त, सॉरी द किंग ऑफ गॉड शशांक। So after he freed his sister Rajeshri with the help of the Bhaskar Varma, the king of the Assam or the Kamrup, okay, he don't only overtook the kingdom of the Kannauj, but after that he also had a 7 continuous year of the war and battle even with the other kingdoms, okay, because as the Kannauj don't have any higher, so other neighboring kingdoms also tried to capture it. So in context of that, he also has a 7 continuous year of the battle with the other kingdoms, okay, and after this 7-year continuous war, he emerged as the most powerful king of the northern part of the India, and from the Vallabhi in the west to the Patliputra in the east, he has a big empire. So from the Thaneshwar, he emerged as a more bigger empire, and then after that he shifted his capital from the Thaneshwar to the Kannauj, and the important regions where he used to rule was the Punjab, West Bengal, Odisha, Kannauj, Malwa, Saurashtra. So these are the main regions which were ruled by the Harshvardhana. Okay, so this has emerged as the North Indian empire over that time, and it is, you can say it is the whole Indo-Gangetic plain was ruled by the Harshvardhana. This whole pink color you are looking in the map, you can watch in the map that it is the empire of the Harshvardhana. Okay, so you can see there is a river Ganga, Yamuna, okay, Chambal, Son river, okay, so these all are the important rivers, and here it is Narmada, but he stopped near the river Narmada. This we will see in the part when we will discuss about the king Pulkeshin II in the another module, okay, of this chapter only. So the king Harshvardhana then emerged as a powerful ruler having a big empire, okay, of the whole North India. Let's see the administration part. Now the administration during the reign of the Harshvardhan. Okay, now as he was ruling on the bigger empire, सो द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, वो इतने बड़े एम्पायर का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कैसे करता था? सो ही वॉज टू कीप द पर्सनल वॉच ऑन द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ द स्टेट। वो अपने स्टेट के एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन पे पर्सनल वॉच पे बहुत रखता था। He has divided his routine into the three parts. The first is for the administration, second for the public welfare, and third is for the religious duties. Harshvardhana personally supervised the administration of his state by traveling extensively to the different part of his empire. Now, in order to check the administration of his state, to supervise the administration of his state, he sometimes used to travel alone in the different part of the empire or the state to know that how better the administration is actually on the ground level. Land revenue was 1/6 of the production, and India had a business relation with the Rome also. At that time also we have a business relation with the Rome. People lived simple, pious and the peaceful life. Okay, so people during the reign of Harshvardhan has a peaceful and pious life. Now, in the administration, there are the certain ministers also who used to help the Harshvardhan to run the administration smoothly. Commander of the army, okay, that is the Senapati. Pratihara, that is the Dwarpal. Sandhi Vigrahika, that is the foreign minister, Rajdoot. Praja Rajya Mantri, then the Mahadandanayak, that is an chief justice. Akshar Patalika, okay, so these all were the council of the minister, you can say, who used to assist the Harshvardhana to have a smooth administration of the empire. Now the imprints. Imprints means, what is the meaning of the imprints? Imprints means अपने काम की छाप छोड़ जाना. ओके, सो उसने जिस तरह से कन्नौज को का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन किया था और उसने जैसे अपने एम्पायर को चलाया था, तो उसके क्या एविडेंस मिले हैं और क्या पता चलता है कि उसने अपने जो स्टेट था कन्नौज, उसमें एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कैसा था, पीपल की लाइफ कैसी थी. ऑल दिस is called the imprints. Okay, so Harshvardhana organized the Buddhist religious meet every year and organized the religious congregation at the Prayag every 5th year. Now, although Harshvardhana himself belonged to the Hindu religion, but he also respects the other religion, and every year there was an Buddhist religious meet was organized. Okay, and at the Prayag, that is in present Allahabad, now again it has been changed in the Prayagraj only, there was a congregation meeting, that is a religious meeting at every 5th year. That religious meeting was of the all religion, that is the Jain, Buddhist and Hinduism. Okay, Harsha built the rest houses, wells, step wells, lakes, mutts and viharas. Okay, he has made all these things, he has built all these things for the comfort of the people. Then during his time there was a lot of literary work has also been developed. The great Sanskrit poet and the writer Ban Bhatt wrote 2 books about the Harsha. Ban Bhatt जो उसके कोर्ट का पोएट था, उसने 2 बुक्स लिखी थी, that is an Harshcharita and the Kadambari. Okay, that is in Harshcharita and the Kadambari. Both these books gives the idea about the empire of the Harshvardhana. ये 2 बुक्स हैं जिसमें से हमको हर्षवर्धना के बारे में से पता चलता है. Okay, Harshvardhana himself was a writer. Okay, he himself was a good scholar. So he himself had wrote the 3 plays, that is the Naganand, Ratnavali and Priyadarshika. Harshvardhan patrons the education and literally and provided the assistance to make Nalanda a world famous university. Okay, so Harshvardhana not only patron the scholars or the literature work in only in his court, but he also provided assistance and whatever is needed, either it is in the term of the money also, he has provided that assistance to the Nalanda University and made it the world famous university. नालंदा पहले से ही थी, ऐसा नहीं है कि उसको बनाया हर्षवर्धन ने था, but he has provided more assistance, maintenance and upkeepment, and to upkeep this university उसने इसमें असिस्ट किया था, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा चीज़ें उसमें बढ़े इसलिए. ओके, द यूनिवर्सिटी हैज़ एन असेस टू द रेवेन्यू ऑफ द 100 विलेजेस फॉर अपकीप एंड द मेंटेनेंस. ओके, जो भी 100 गांव का रेवेन्यू आता था, दैट वाज डायरेक्टली डोनेटेड टू द नालंदा यूनिवर्सिटी to upkeep and the maintenance of it. In this way, he patroned the education. Renowned chemist Acharya Nagarjuna also belonged to the Nalanda University. Acharya Nagarjuna was belonged to the Nalanda University, and Acharya means he was a principal over there. Okay. Nalanda University also had a library known as a Dharamganj. This was a very famous library of the Nalanda University. Nagarjuna, who was the alchemist, has also proved that if the iron, arsenic and mercury ash could be used as the mixture of these three also used as a medicine. जबकि आज के ज़माने में भी लोग ये मानते हैं कि मर्क्यूरी है वो बहुत ही पॉइजनस मेटल है, सो इट इज़ नॉट यूज्ड एज ए मेडिसिन, बट he has at that time proved that if the iron, arsenic and mercury is mixed in a proportionate, then it can also be used as a medicine. A highway from a Patliputra to the Brugg, Kutch, means today's Bharuch port, was also built for the trade and transportations of the good. There was a road constructed from the Patliputra to the Bharuch, okay, because Bharuch is a port and that was used for the trade and transportation of the good. During the period of the Harshvardhana, a Chinese traveler named Huensang has traveled to India to study the Buddhism at the Nalanda University for 5 years, and he stayed in India for 15 years. Huensang एक चाइनीज ट्रेवलर है जिसने नालंदा यूनिवर्सिटी में 5 साल तक पढ़ाई की और उसके बाद वो 15 ईयर तक इंडिया में रहा. उस टाइम उसने हर्षवर्धन के दरबार में भी, कोर्ट में भी he has visited. He has also participated in the congregation which took place after every 5 years. And from his book also, from the book of Huensang also, there was lot of evidence about the Harshvardhana. Okay, Huensang written about the reign of Harshvardhana in his book. Okay, and the name of the book is Wen Quen Ki. Now let's see exclusively about the life of people in the Harshvardhana's reign. Okay, towns and villages were the fortified. Fortified means they all are having the surplus things. Okay, people used to have a simple and the peaceful life. Farming and animal husbandry were the main occupation of the people. The society was divided into the 4 varnas. Yeah. I think you all knows that 4 varnas. Okay, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra. The Parda system and the intercaste marriage were not prevalent in the society. Till that, there was no Parda system in the society and intercaste marriage was not there. The marriage was based on the caste. The custom of the sati, child marriage and polygamy had started by them. Okay, so the the caste of the sati. What is the what is the custom of satis? That if the husband died, then the wife, a live wife, has to jump, or she also had to burn herself alive in the funeral of her husband. That is called the sati. Then the child marriage was also quite is prevalent at that time. Polygamy had started. Polygamy means having more than one wife is called the polygamy. The local diet consisted of the milk and milk product, wheat, rice, fruits and vegetable, as the main occupation is farming and animal husbandry. So obviously there will be the milk and milk product, and all the vegetational product is also there. Vegetables, fruits, rice, wheat. They wore clean, simple white clothes. Okay, and the people during the reign of Harshvardhan used to wear the clean, simple white clothes. Men wore dhotis and the women wore saris. Their ornaments were made from the flower. Okay, they used to wear the ornaments which are made of the flower. Acrobats and the conjurers wandered from village to village entertaining. So the acrobats means जो जिम्नास्टिक्स होते हैं ना, जो करतब दिखाते हैं जिम्नास्टिक का, दे आर कॉल्ड द एक्रोबैट्स. Conjurer means the magicians. They wandered from one place to one village to another for the entertainment of the people. Gold and silver coins were used for the commercial transactions. Okay, so gold and silver का transactions होता था for the commercial trading. Okay, so in trading they used to exchange the gold and silver coins. Ornaments, statue, ivory, etc. were exported. People followed Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism.